Last week I had a rendezvous with India's leading industrialist, Anil Ambani. Today we meet the woman who captivated millions on screen and went on to capture his heart.
कुछ भी हो मुश्किल है दूर रहना कुछ हो गया तो फिर ना कहना
शायद मेरी शादी का ख्याल दिल में आया है इसीलिए मम्मी ने मेरी तुम्हें चाय पे बुलाया है.
The Tina Munim-Anil Ambani romance sparked off a nation's imagination and curiosity. Tonight, for the first time, they share with us, in two parts, the untold love story. Tina and Anil Ambani.
Just let your thoughts, your dreams unfold. Let's talk of love, of tales untold. Speak so I can see your soul. Speak so I can see your soul.
Tina, it is so delightful to see you again.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see you too.
We go back a long way, Tina.
Yes, absolutely.
To the making of Karis.
Yes, almost 20 years ago.
Oh God, don't tell me.
I don't want to hear it either.
I remember at that time, you had just become Tina Munim, the star.
Yeah, Tina Munim, yes.
Tell me, was stardom an aspiration for you?
Never.
No.
No, I never wanted to be an actress. I remember when I was in college, I used to hitchhike and once or twice was given lift by, I think once Goldie Ji gave me a lift and asked me, he says, you want to work in movies? And I said, no. And he says, why not? And I said, no, I want to do fashion designing. So it was a very pleasant accident that happened in my life.
You come from a conventional Gujarati household, don't you?
Gujarati, yes. Conventional, not too conventional.
But you people were far removed from the film industry.
Absolutely. Nothing to do with films. Nothing at all.
So how did you come into films?
Dev Saab was looking for a young, fresh face at that stage for to star in Des Pardes. He wanted someone very young. And so he saw my picture and he approached me. He offered me the role and I was in movies.
And how was Dev Saab to work with?
He was great. Great to work with. Gave me tremendous confidence. I remember the first time I had to sing a song because I'd always looked at Hindi movies, people singing songs, and you know, one said, "Oh, how can they do it? It's so strange. How can people run around the bushes and sing songs and stuff like that?" So when I really had to do it, it was so funny. I just couldn't sing. Every time they'd start the camera and I'd start singing, I'd start giggling. I think for a whole day we just couldn't shoot. And he said, "Just take off, go home, relax." Think about it. You know, it should come to you very naturally. You shouldn't start giggling like this. You know, so he gave me a day off, and then I was fine. So it was a great experience working with him.
But do you feel you had a hunger for stardom?
No, I don't think so. Because if I did, I would have done a lot better in my career than I did.
You did very well, but you treated your career casually.
Yeah, because I guess I'm basically not an ambitious person. So somehow that thing to reach the top or to be the, you know, I always wanted to be the best. It's not that I didn't, but you know that hunger, yeah, it wasn't there. It happened to me at a very young age, and I guess I didn't realize the importance of what I had received.
Did you ever realize it later?
Much later, yes.
You were wonderful on screen, Tina.
Thank you.
And I've always felt you gave films up much too soon.
Sometimes I feel that too, because I think I could have done a lot more. Yeah. But at that stage I felt that that was the maximum that I could do. And then I felt that there was a lot more to the world that I wanted to explore and experience. And, you know, not just stick to movies. And I thought that was the right time to get out. I decided to quit.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like that. In fact, my mother used to tell me, she says, you know, it's going to be very difficult for you. You know, you're so used to people looking at you and, you know, applauding you and wanting
the
to
attention
see you. Yeah, the attention so much. And, you know, once you stop movies, you're not going to get it. "Are you ready for it?" And I said, "Yeah, I am."
Were you ready for it?
Yeah, I think I was, because I never regretted it. I never wanted to go back, ever.
Were you a rebel in any way?
Yeah, total rebel. If I was told to do something, I'd never do it. It's just in your nature. It's just, you're born like that.
So what were you rebelling against?
Maybe the regular traditional way of living.
Yeah.
I bought my own house. I think for a Gujarati family, you know, a young girl to buy her own house and move into that is rebellious, I think.
It is.
Doing whatever I did, quite lived my life the way I wanted to always. I remember when I was young, my father always told me to be a strong individual. He always said that you should do in what you believe and go by your gut feeling. Never take anybody's obligation in life, never. And till date, as long as I can remember, I've never done that.
So you have, in a way, been in full control of your life.
Yeah, you could say so. Kind of, yes. I've never blamed anyone for anything in my life. I have, whatever I've done is consciously, because I wanted to do it at that time, whether it's working in movies or giving up a film or signing a film or having a relationship or anything. I have never regretted anything.
Did you wonder and worry about the future at all, ever?
Not really, no.
Never concerned you?
No. I never even thought about it. Everybody used to worry that, you know, you're giving up a film career. You don't have anyone to fall back on as far as marriage is concerned, and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I used to just say that things will take its own course. I mean, things will happen.
Where did you get that confidence from?
I don't know. I was always so sure of myself. I always knew that the right man will come at the right time, and the right things will happen.
Because it did happen just like that.
Yeah, it did. As I always knew that someday I'll get the best.
Yes.
I always knew that.
Got the royal flush.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But have you ever felt that a sense of destiny has led you by the hand or played a role in your life?
Yeah, I'd say that. I very strongly believe in theory of karma, and I always think that you get what you deserve, and so I guess I did some good karmas to be able to find such a wonderful husband and be where I am today.
Tina, Anil, it's such a special occasion to have you both here together.
Thank you. You know, this is the first time I'm going to be doing something with him on a camera, so I'm quite excited too.
Is that right? You mean in all these years that you've been married, you've never?
No, except for the wedding film. Together, yeah, never.
Then I'm doubly honored.
Thank you.
You know, your love story has been a source of fascination for millions. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I'm told so, yes.
And nobody really knows the real story. So I'm going to ask you today, were you introduced to Tina, Anil, in a cinema hall like the rest of the world?
No, absolutely not.
Where did you meet her?
I saw her first at a wedding.
He just saw me, yeah.
She was the only person who was there at the wedding in a black sari. I thought that black sari was a signal for attending a funeral, not for a wedding. So I thought she was so starkly dressed in black sari.
He's never stopped ever telling me about that. Always asked me, why did you have to wear a black sari? But it's just something, you know, one of those things.
She just wanted to be different.
Yeah,
Always
the
right
right thing.
usual, yeah. And what did you think? Did you flip instantly?
No, I thought she was an attractive woman. That's about it.
Anil, your friends say that it was instant fascination from your side.
No, they're over-exaggerating.
That's not fair.
Not it. That's not true.
So hardly, I just saw her and that's about it. I mean, don't make too much out of it.
Okay.
He's being difficult.
Very.
No, I'm being realistic.
Okay. Had you seen her films?
A few of them, but they were never with the precise objective of watching her.
You know something, the stories I hear are completely different to the stories you're telling me. I heard that he
Those stories go into Ripley's, believe it or not.
No, but I heard that you used to go to the theatre repeatedly when her film was on.
I didn't have that type of money to go and spend on watching her movies.
Okay. And the second time you saw her?
Then a few months later, I met her in Philadelphia when I was at Wharton. where she had come for some function. She ignored me with the great contempt that she
not
has
true.
in her mind for me.
No, that's not true.
And then
That's not true. That's not true. I didn't know him. I was just introduced to somebody and was told that he thinks very highly of you. He thinks you're very pretty. And I just looked at him and smiled, and he wanted to take me out, and I didn't know him, so I said no. And
she already had 2-3 other dates on that day. That's why she said no.
because being an actress, you always have people, especially men, who come up to you and say you're very pretty or want to date you and want to go out with you. So it wasn't something unusual for me. It was regular stuff.
Yes, true.
So that was the first time I heard of him, and then after that I didn't hear of him for a very long time.
So when did you first meet and talk?
I think it was in '86 when my nephew said that he wants to meet you, and he's a very nice guy. He's Gujarati, and why don't you meet? And
The Gujarati bit also.
yeah, that did come in. I mean, I'm going to be honest. And I said, yeah, okay, one of these days we'll meet. And I was just not keen on meeting guys at that stage of my life. And I think I did fix a couple of dates with him, but we never really eventually didn't go out together for 5-6 dates that I fixed. And I didn't keep them up.
Oh.
And then I
You
think...
stood him up?
No, not stood me up.
Not stood him up, but I
Just
wasn't just...
kept postponing.
Yeah, I said, we'll meet next week, and the following week I'd fix it up, and then again I wouldn't
I'm
go.
shooting,
and,
I have a headache.
things like
so
that.
on and
Because
so
in
forth.
your heart you weren't ready.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to meet anyone. But then I think eventually after 4 or 5 times that I cancelled or postponed it, we met.
And what signals did you get from him?
The first time I met him, I was quite struck by his simplicity. I found him very genuine, very upfront, and someone who comes up to you and says that I think you're very pretty, and doesn't make no bones about it, doesn't try to have the normal men stuff, giving you that,
I'd rehearsed it before.
Then he was very unlike the other guys
Yes.
I'd met, because most of the guys I'd met were from films, So he was very different from that. Also, we spoke the same language, per se, not literally, but we were brought up in the similar manner, and I kind of felt there could be a lot of things in common between us. That's what I recollect.
And what did you feel when you met Tina and spoke to her and talked to her?
As I looked at her, I knew that she was good looking, she was beautiful, etc., etc. But other than that, I thought clearly, coming from a film background in terms of her professional career, you have a certain set of notions in your head about people from the industry, etc., which I didn't think were true to her. And I've known many people from the film industry. I thought she was just different.
That's what I thought too when I met you.
I think that the attraction really came about only after I met her.
After you talked to her.
That's when I would say that I was really attracted to her. Other than that, I could say I've been fascinated by her, but nothing more.
So then you both started seeing each other for a while.
For a short time, yes. We courted for a very short time. You can't even call courting, because I had hardly known him the first time I met him, and then I went out with him a couple of times, and I reconfirmed all the things that I felt the first time I saw him. I realized that he was very nice and very easy to get along with, not demanding as a person, even in a friendship, in a normal friendship.
Yes. So how long did you start going out with each other?
Just a few months.
Yeah, a couple of months. I think we met sometimes November, December,
Yeah,
'86.
couple of months.
Feb, I think we stopped seeing each other.
You were in films at that time.
Just at the end of my career, just giving up, just in the process
Tail end.
just in the process of thinking of giving it up myself. Yeah.
Did you talk about marriage
No,
at
never.
that time?
Never.
On that first?
Never.
Because then suddenly you both stopped seeing each other. What happened?
Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, clearly, she, from her film industry background, etc., had certain issues in front of her, and from any family perspective, especially my parents, etc., there were some clear issues on, whether somebody from a film industry background can fit into a situation in our family, and I think that was a key issue.
So your parents knew that you were going out with
Absolutely.
Tina. Had you met his parents?
No,
They had not met her.
No.
no.
And I mean, did they say to you, Anil, what are you doing? What's happening? Is that what they did?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they would always query me or question me, and I would always tell them that, look, I'm doing what I think is good for me. And,
Yes.
they had that implicit trust and faith in me to saying, fine. I mean, if you think what you're doing is right, then do it. If this is ultimately going to lead to a marriage and a lifelong relationship, then you've got to look at not the next 2, 3, 5 years.
I think the family was just trying to tell him that, you know, it's a lifelong commitment, and if a girl is coming from film background, they didn't know me, obviously, I don't blame them for it. But if she's coming from film background, and you know how films are
Perceived.
perceived. So it's a big taboo. At least 10, 12 years ago, it still was. Maybe not now as much, but you know.
So what did you do? There was
I just stopped seeing her, and she stopped seeing me. So both of us stopped seeing each other.
So basically, it was family pressure that influenced you.
Absolutely.
Did you explain it to her why you'd stopped? seeing
Yeah,
her?
I did explain to her, and she understood to the best of her ability to understand within the given circumstances of what were the pulls and the pressures.
So how did he explain it to you?
I think it was very straight and simple explanation that you know, you come from film background, and even if you're a Gujarati, you know, you've worked in movies for 10 years, and I come from a different kind of a setup, and you know, people talking a lot about us, and I think
Basically, I said, read my lips,
Mature and
read my
yeah.
mind,
Yeah.
read between the lines, whatever you want to do, you read.
no, but I understood, and I said, yeah, I quite understand, and I said, I don't want to get into a relationship myself which has no future. So I said the best thing to do is to not see each other, and so we decided not to see each other, and we didn't speak to each other for at least 4 or 5 years.
You
4
just
years.
stopped
Yeah.
communicating.
Most people will not believe it, but
Yeah,
we,
but
didn't,
it's
we
true.
didn't communicate each other for at least, I think, 3 to 4 years.
No,
At all.
no one believes that, but that's the truth.
How did you feel when you were faced with the situation?
I wasn't so involved with him at
As
that
much.
stage, so it was not so difficult, but it was tough in sense that because I did feel by the time, you know, the 2-3 months that I went out with him, I did feel that here's the guy that I'd really
Yeah.
like to settle down with if things work out correctly. So I was disappointed,
Yeah.
you know, to give up a relationship which hadn't even begun.
Yeah.
But I saw a great future in it, and but I took it in my stride. I've always been like that. I take things as they come, and I don't make too much about it, and I just go on living, and that's what I did.
And what were you doing during those 4 or 5 years?
I was actually, as I said, I was in the process of giving up my career, so I finished all my commitments, and then I went off to America. I studied interior designing for about a year. I did some computers, and you know, my sister lives in Australia, so I used to shuttle between America, Australia, and Bombay, and time just flew by.
And you put all this behind you.
Oh yeah,
You had
all this behind me, but at the back of my mind.
That's
yes.
what I want to know.
Yes, absolutely.
So you did harbor a little hope that
I didn't harbor a hope, but I knew that.
that it wasn't finished.
No, I didn't even know that, but I knew within my heart that I can have a very strong impact on people if I want, and I think I did that on him, and I knew it wasn't so easy for him to let go. You know, it wasn't. I knew he wasn't getting married. I was hearing a lot of things, lots of proposals, but he wasn't getting married. He wasn't saying yes. So I knew that obviously there's something that he wants, which he's not getting.
Yes. And how did you deal? How does a man deal with it?
I think there was, contrary to what Tina said, I think there was a lot of pain. There was a feeling of great loss. I think that especially when you are convinced that that is the right thing to do for you as an individual, may not be right from a society perspective, from a family perspective. I think it was, I would say, quite a period of turmoil for me mentally. I would not show it to people, and that's when Tina heard lots of rumors every day or every week that I'm getting married to X, Y, and Z, or I'm seeing somebody other.
But I never once called you or
and
questioned
she never
you.
called me, I never called her, but effectively even in that period of 3-4 years of non-communication with her, there was nobody that I really went out with.
So did you talk to your parents about it?
Yeah, I've been on a pretty routine basis. You know, this is what my mind is. This is what I want to do. and you should meet with her and talk to her
Yes.
about it, and tell me when you are mentally ready to do that. We'll get the ball rolling.
But weren't you taking a chance? I mean, she could have gone and got married to somebody else. You'd have lost her completely.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my loss. Yes.
You'd accept it?
Mine
Yeah,
too, mine too.
I would have just had to accept it. Yes. There was something in my intuition. There was something within myself which said, "Well, this is made for each other for life. If it happens, that's fine. If it doesn't happen, then that's what God has chosen it to happen."
How did you both get back together again?
La